Did you know that one bee has to fly over 20,000 flowers to collect 1 gram of nectar? One bee has to fly over more than 20,000 flowers to collect 1 gram of nectar while making 15 flights, because the honey ventricle can hold only up to 70 milligrams, while during a long flight the bee can eat half of the collected. During a working day, one bee flies around an area of about 12 hectares, and during the entire honey flow, it flies a path equal to the distance from the Earth to the Moon, while making up to 440 flaps per second and developing speeds up to 65 kilometers per hour. In this case, the bee can move away from the hive for 8 kilometers and unmistakably find the way back, although for the most part bees rarely move more than 2 kilometers from the apiary. Despite these impressive numbers, 10 bees produce only a teaspoon of honey in their lifetime. To produce 1 kilogram of honey, it is necessary to fly around 8 million flowers. The bees of one family, about 50,000 bees, can collect up to 10 kilograms of honey, and about 150 kilograms of honey are harvested per hive per year. Did you know that up to 5 million insects can live in an anthill? An anthill, ant nest, is the name of an ant nest, which, as a rule, is noticeable by its above-ground part, which is a pile of pieces of leaves, needles, twigs, and earth. It is the above-ground part of an ant nest, which consists of a complex system of passages and miniature structures. The size of the anthill in different species can be from acorn, leptothorax, temnothorax, to 2-meter domes of forest ants of the genus Formica. Anthills are earthen, woody, in stumps and trunks, campanotus, from plant residues, needles, twigs, from living leaves, for example, in weaver ants of the genus Icophylla. Up to 5 million insects can live in large anthills of redwood ants and American leaf-cutting ants of the genus Atta. The life of an anthill can be from several years to centuries. As a rule, an anthill is built from spruce needles, leaves, and small branches. The underground part of the structure with passages and chambers goes into the ground to a depth of 2 meters. In the evening, to preserve heat, the exits of the passages are clogged with resin. Ants are very fragile. Weaver ants of the genus Icophylla, for example, Icophylla smeridina, gather leaves for their nest and sew them together with sticky web threads secreted by their larvae. In some species of ants, colonies are located in several nests built by them. Until 2000, the largest ant super colony ever discovered was in the coastal area of Ishikari County on the island of Hokkaido, Japan. This colony includes approximately 306 million ants and 1 million queens, which live in 45,000 nests over an area of 2.7 square kilometers. In 2000, an even larger super colony of Argentine ants was found on the coast of southern Europe. It is located on a narrow strip of coastal areas of Spain, France, and Italy. Did you know that a mosquito bite can be beneficial? Mosquitoes are widespread throughout the globe and inhabit all continents, except Antarctica. They are also absent from Iceland and the Faroe Islands. The widest range is the common mosquito, Culex pipiens, which is distributed wherever a person is found his main victim. In warm and humid tropical regions, they are active throughout the year, but in temperate regions they hibernate, falling into diapause at one of the stages of development, more often at the stage of imago or egg stage, during the cold season. The reproduction of various species of mosquitoes around the world, and their movement over long distances to regions where they are not native, has occurred thanks to man. First of all, these are journeys along sea routes, in which eggs, larvae, and pupae of mosquitoes are transported in worn-out tires filled with water or containers with cut flowers. However, in addition to maritime transport, mosquitoes have actively mastered the movement of personal vehicles, trucks, trains, and even airplanes. Thus, the spread of mosquitoes is difficult to control, and even quarantine measures have proved to be insufficiently effective and difficult to implement in practice. Generally, male and female mosquitoes feed on nectar and plant sap, but in many species the female mouthparts are adapted to pierce the skin of host animals to suck their blood, ectoparasitism. In some species, the female must obtain nutrients from the prey's blood before she can produce eggs, while in many other species, after feeding on the blood, females gain the ability to produce more eggs. Both food sources, plant materials and animal blood, in the form of sugars, carbohydrates, provide energy for the mosquito. In addition, blood is a source of more concentrated and useful nutrients such as lipids, but the most important role of blood in the diet of mosquitoes is the provision of proteins as a building material for the production of eggs. Thus, there is a certain specialization. Female mosquitoes feed on blood to reproduce full-fledged offspring, and males refrain from parasitic feeding on the blood of victims. Mosquito larvae are able to filter water. There's always food for them in reservoirs, so they clean them from algae and decomposition products. Even after death, mosquitoes leave a benefit, which lies in the fact that pupae from reservoirs bring many microelements to the soil, thus enriching the soil. Mosquitoes and their larvae are food for dragonflies, fish, and bats. Male mosquitoes feed on pollen, not blood, and participate in the pollination of plants. Despite the fact that complications are possible after mosquito bites, scientists have recorded that these insects can improve blood circulation and rid a person of small capillary blood clots. This is achieved due to the fact that mosquitoes have the ability to find the weakest points on the human body. Did you know that there are 88 constellations in space? Many visible stars are grouped into constellations. For millennia, humans have looked into the night sky and searched for the familiar shapes of animals and the silhouettes of gods in the shimmering dots on the celestial sphere. Everything depended on the imagination of the observer and the culture of the people. Therefore, in different countries and in different eras, the constellations were different. Star maps are constantly changing as, indeed, and geographical. Created in 1919, the International Astronomical Union streamlined and unified star charts. The boundaries between the constellations were drawn and a list of 88 constellations was approved. 48 of them were described and named by the ancient Greeks. For a professional, a constellation is not the usual outline of the eagle, cygnus, or lyra, but a certain section of the sky, a celestial state along with all visible and invisible stars. Constellations are divided into southern, 45, northern, 31, and equatorial, 12. Part of the constellations of the southern hemisphere are visible in our latitudes in summer, and vice versa. Australians see part of the constellations of the northern hemisphere in winter. However, there are constellations that never rise above the horizon in the northern hemisphere, for example, the Southern Cross. In The Fate of Navigators, he played the same important role as Ursa Major in the northern hemisphere. With the help of these constellations, sailors of the past determined the direction to the north and south, respectively. Therefore, the Southern Cross is depicted on the flags of many countries, from Australia to Brazil. Did you know, what are the 10 smallest animals on Earth? One, Homopus signatus, turtle. Body length and weight of an adult, length 10 to 11 centimeters, weight 95 to 165 grams. The smallest turtle in the world is considered Homopus signatus, which lives in the south of the African continent. It feeds mainly on flowers, less on leaves, and stems. Like many representatives of the animal world, the turtle has developed sexual dimorphism, that is, females are much larger than males. In addition, their shell is wider and higher. Homopus signatus carapace is light beige with small black spots. It lives in those places where it can easily hide, under stones or in narrow crevices, escaping from predators due to its tiny size. The turtle has no problems with this. 2. Craseonycteris thonglongyai, bat. Body length and weight of an adult, length 3 centimeters, weight 1.7 grams. Craseonycteris thonglongyai, aka pig and bumblebee, is not only the smallest animal in the world, but also the smallest member of the mammal class. The mouse got its name because of the muzzle. It is flat and fleshy, resembling a pig, and is located between very small eyes. Some representatives of the class, compared with her, seem like real giants. Distinctive features of such an unusual bat include wide and long wings, the loss of a tail, and an unusual muzzle. The coloration of the mouse on the back is reddish-brown and lighter towards the bottom. The diet of this crumb includes insects. Interesting fact, the discovery of the pig mouse belongs to the biologist Kitty thonglongyai from Thailand, who described the animal in 1973. Craseonycteris thonglongyai, bat. Furry, Tetracheilostoma carlae, snake. Body length and weight of an adult, length 10 centimeters, weight 0.5 grams. Are you afraid of snakes? Look at this miracle. It definitely won't scare you. The smallest snake, Tetracheilostoma carlae, was discovered on the island of Barbados in 2008. The little one prefers to hide away from everyone, choosing stones and grass for her shelter, and the only place where she feels comfortable is the forests growing in the eastern and central parts of the island. This type of snake is blind, and it feeds on ants and termites. Since there is deforestation on the island, it can be assumed that the species is threatened with extinction. Tetracheilostoma carlae is not poisonous. 4. Suncus etruscus, shrew. Length and weight of an adult, length 3.4 centimeters, weight 1.7 grams. The smallest mammal, Suncus etruscus, in other words shrew, resembles in appearance an ordinary shrew, but only in a miniature size. Despite its size, the shrew is a predator. It eats various insects, including pests, bringing great benefits to nature and man with its activities. This miracle lives in southern Europe, in North Africa, in the territory of South China, etc. An incredibly fast metabolism causes the shrew to consume twice as much food as its own weight, maintaining its body temperature at the proper level. It's hard to imagine, but the heart of this baby is beating at a speed of 25 beats per second. 5. Mellisuga helenae, hummingbird. Length and weight of an adult, length 6 centimeters, weight 2 grams. This unique tiny bird flaps its wings at 90 times per second while hovering over tropical flowers to sip nectar. It's hard to believe, but the heart of a hummingbird makes 300 to 500 beats per minute. Mellisuga helenae was discovered in 1844 in Cuba by Juan Cristobal. The paws of hummingbirds are very small. They are larger and do not need them, because most of their time they are in flight. Hummingbirds are loners in all aspects, except for the moment when it is necessary to take care of the reproduction of offspring. During the mating season, males attract females with their singing. The females, in turn, listen to them and choose a mate for themselves. 6. Sphaerodactylus ariasae, gecko. Length and weight of an adult, length 1.6 centimeters, weight 0.2 grams. The pygmy gecko is the world's smallest lizard, discovered in 2001. You can see it only on the small island of Beata, not far from the coast of the Dominican Republic. Sphaerodactylus ariasae is translated as sphero round, dactylus finger. The name is due to the fact that the phalanges of the lizard end in round suction cups. Unlike other genera of geckos, these babies have round pupils. Only experienced terrariumists are allowed to keep such a cute baby at home, since if she escapes, it will be almost impossible to find her. 7. Hippocampus denise, seahorse. Adult length 1 cm. Perhaps you can't wait to learn more about this cute seahorse? Let's start. Hippocampus denise lives in the depths of the sea and is the smallest of the rest of the seahorses. Tiny creatures live alone or in small groups. These animals are masters of disguise. The yellowish-orange coloration allows them to easily blend in with the branches of the coral, among whose branches they live and hide. The camouflage of denise seahorse turned out to be so effective that the animal was discovered only due to the fact that, along with its home, a Gorgonian branch, ended up in the laboratory. 8. Brookesia minima, chameleon. Adult length, 1 centimeter. Nature never ceases to amaze us. Brookesia minima belongs to the chameleon family and is the smallest species on the planet. All animals of this species live on the territory of the island of Madagascar, lead a hidden lifestyle. During the day they prefer to hide in the forest floor, and at night they climb trunks to sleep. You can only see this crumb by chance, because like all chameleons, this species changes the color of the skin depending on the environment that surrounds it. In addition, it is hardly possible to see the animal in its natural environment because it does not exceed 1 centimeter in length. Brookesia minima includes 30 species. 9. Paedocypris progenetica, fish. Length and weight of an adult, length 7.9 millimeters, weight 4 grams. This baby looks like a fry. The fish is almost completely missing the skull, which is why it is in a vulnerable state. Paedocypris progenetica was discovered in 2006 in one of the swamps of the island of Sumatra by a team of scientists. Before this amazing find, it was believed that various animals could not live in the waters of Indonesia. But after the scientists managed to make a discovery, biologists studied the area well, and, as you might already guess, they discovered many new species of animals, as well as plants. An interesting fact, after a team of scientists discovered Paedocypris progenetica, the fish became pets. They are kept in mini aquariums. 10. Paedophryne, frog. Adult length, 7.7 millimeters. Our amazing selection is completed by Paedophryne, a frog that is smaller than a fingernail on a human finger. This species was discovered quite by accident by 2 researchers in 2009 thanks to microphones for recording sounds. The recordings repeated a signal with a frequency of almost equal to 9,000 Hz, similar to the croaking of a frog. The researchers began to actively search the surroundings of the village of Amau, interested in the sound, and how amazed they must have been. Only 4 species of Paedophryne have been found in nature, and all of them live in Papua New Guinea.